17th of March, St. Patrick's Day. What a glorious day, ladies and gentlemen, to be listening to me talk absolute bollocks. Talking out of my hoop, you might say. Talking to nothing and nobody. The sun, the moon and the stars. That's who I'm talking to. Well, the same force that drives the stars and the planets through the universe is the force that drives the tongue in my mouth. I'm just waiting here for my little bit of chicken, a few bits of meat on a stick, 2 little bags of rice. I'm going to bring that home, throw it in a bowl, dollop of soy sauce over the lot of it, and I'll eat my dinner then, surrounded by the 5 dogs. After they've had a good bark attack at me when I come in the door, they're fairly quick to sit down then and stare up with those big doggy eyes. Give us a bit of your meat there, Connor, would you? Feck off, says I. Anyway, what was I reading about today? A couple of different things. You wouldn't shout calorie deficit into an obese person's face, would you? Or you wouldn't shout cheer up into a depressed person's face. Wouldn't work. What would be the point? So the subtleties and nuances that exist within any message that you'd want to carry to anybody suffering from any ailment of the mind, could be that there should be a message for me, talking to himself underneath the sun, the moon and the stars while he waits for his chicken on the side of a road in the Philippines. You wouldn't shout calorie deficit into the face of an obese man, and you wouldn't shout cheer up, would you, into the face of a depressed girl. So what would you shout into my face if you saw me? Would you stop moaning with your narcissism? You're what now? You're the victim of narcissistic abuse. I tell you what you are. You're the only person at your very own pity party. You'd want to pull those socks up fairly lively. Righto? Let's go on to the next thought. I was reading that book by Christopher Hitchens. God is not great. Basically, I'm just taking little snippets of what I've read in the course of the day and regurgitating them here in one consistent train of thought. He was talking about how the head honchos of Christianity had said, you'd want to be careful with those condoms, lads. There's little holes in those condoms, and if you wear a condom, the virus of HIV will get you. Now, this message was picked up by the bishops around the world and translated into several different languages and several different tongues, so that it came out completely arseways. If you use a condom, you're no better than the dog on the street. You don't see the dogs on the streets wearing condoms, do you? So why would you wear one? He went on then to talk about something that some lad in Iran had said. You know, there's a law that still exists out there that a woman can be sentenced to gang rape. A woman can be sentenced to gang rape in response to the shame that has been brought upon a family as a result of her brother's activity. Imagine that. Your brother did X, Y, and Z, therefore you are being sentenced to gang rape. Now, I can't even remember what I was talking about with condoms or HIV or what was the point about what Christopher Hitchens had said in God is not great. Only that, well, what am I getting from that book? A better sense that any other school of thought Let's just for a minute think about that. Is that what Catholicism is? Is that what Islam is? A school of thought? Yeah, any other school of thought is going to bring with it backwards thinking. I think he said in a few chapters ago, he said that if you were to burn all the books now and tomorrow morning start from scratch, you could be sure that in some length of time we would discover gravity, quantum theory, and everything else that's great within the science that we know today. But the same religions would not be as they were. You'd probably have, instead of Jesus, you'd have a female this time round. Maybe some female with 3 tits and 2 vaginas. And instead of getting crucified on a cross, maybe she was dragged through coal, tied onto the back of a high-ace van.